Hi, welcome to Grimm Your Wednesdays. My name's Judy and I run Quiet Ear Records. This is a collaborative effort between me, Grimalkin Records, and rumblepak. We're going to be talking with some really interesting people about the art that they're creating, what's going on in their lives, and some really other great stuff. I highly encourage everybody to donate to Virginia Anti-Violence Project. They're a really great organization, obviously based in Virginia, that works with survivors of violence, particularly in the LGBTQIA plus community. They're really great and I think are a really valuable resource for the state and also just as a resource for anybody who may want to check them out. So again, virginiavp.org. Today, we're talking with Nancy Grimm, founder of Grimalkin Records, also known as Spartan Jet-Plex, and featuring a performance by Zara, aka Gravedream, newest member of Grimalkin Records, and amazing musician. So, let's get started. Hi, Nancy. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I think every week is just me prepping for this. I'm drinking a Red Bull and I'm just chilling. Yeah. How's your day? What have you been up to?
Yeah, pretty good. Just working on Grimalkin stuff like emails and release stuff and orders and things. Yeah, it's pretty good day.
That sounds really great. Um, yeah, I feel like every day, at any given point in time, I could be like, "Hey, what are you up to?" And you'll be like, "Oh, I just did this thing for Grimalkin," or "I'm thinking about this thing for Grimalkin," or planning, or following up on
Yeah.
stuff. Could you tell us a little bit about what Grimalkin Records is?
Yeah, well, we're obviously a record label, but we're also a collective, and we're not genre focused, and we make priority to queer and trans people, especially like Black and other people of color. Yeah, and okay, yeah, we're also a benefit label. We also don't ever profit off of artist music. So like all like digital only sales always go to artists unless like they want to do something else with them. And then like for our tape releases, we ask the artist to choose like a local grassroots organization or mutual aid collective that's local to them to donate proceeds to with the tape sales. And then we also do like really small runs of like Lathe records. And if they all sell, then we break even. So those just kind of go back into our label fund and whatnot. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. And we try to raise money and have benefit shows and whatnot so we can like help with mutual aid work and like, you know, in like our various local communities, and also just like to pay people for doing things like, well, before the pandemic, playing shows, and then like also for things like graphic design or cover artwork or mastering and mixing, yeah, all those sorts of things like that. That we try to raise money so we can pay people to do those things too.
That's really
Yeah.
neat. It sounds like the work that the members of Grimalkin Collective do together kind of is like a very holistic approach to being an artist. Kind of every step of the process, somebody is there to be able to like help or provide insight or collaboration.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of like inner collaborations that happen with like mastering or mixing or cover artwork. And like some people might not know how to master or whatnot, so we'll like get that done for them so that their music is ready for release. And we're also like never exclusive, so like if you can release anywhere you want, you can put the music anywhere you want in addition to like if you're releasing with us. It's basically just trying to create a community of support, where we're all like kind of helping each other and like, lifting each other up, giving each other opportunities for things. Yeah, so like it's hard in DIY and music industry, like, to get your music out there or people to even take time to listen to it. So just kind of trying to provide support for people and get their music covered and get it out there, that kind of thing. Yeah.
I noticed that a lot of the focus between the collaborations between the artists within Grimalkin is the idea of supporting each other both through enjoying each other's art, but also through supporting each other's getting paid. And so that kind of goes into I would say the mindset that you brought up earlier of mutual aid and centering that as part of your label, just like how it functions. Could you tell us a little bit more about the role of mutual aid in the ways that you navigate the music industry?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just like trying to help people get whatever resources they need, whether it's just to survive or get by, or whether it's to like, they don't have a mic, or they don't have the ability, they can't get their work mastered or whatever. So it's really just comes down to like, whatever somebody needs. But like if somebody needs like help with like rent or whatever it is, like we're all, whatever it is that you need to survive, like we're trying to like help, just basically help each other navigate that. And then also I forgot to mention with like collaboration too, there's been a lot of really cool like cross collaboration too in terms of like music collaboration. So that's kind of like another really cool thing that's starting to happen more and more too between people within Grimalkin and then like our like immediate friends or whatever too.
Yeah, I mean, off the top of my head, I can name Savan, right? Savan Nepal and Don't Do It, Neil. No, Quentin Barnes
Yeah,
and wait.
and all of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've
Okay.
all collaborated. Yeah, Savan, Mabel, who's Don't Do It, Neil, and Savan also makes music as Ishtar Senior. Yeah, and then Quentin Barnes, like they're all, have collaborated on different each other's tracks or whatnot. Yeah.
Definitely. And another one I think that definitely immediately comes to mind is your collaboration with another Grimalkin member, Raphael, who collaborated with you on your new visual album accompanying Spartan Jet-Plex Live. Well, I guess
Yeah.
live from Spartan Jet-Plex. Could you tell us a little bit more about the collaboration and the process going into creating, I guess, the entire experience of that album?
Yeah, so I guess like the album in general is sort of like celebrating my life since moving here to Virginia. And like and so I was like kind of in the process of getting to know Hafa a lot better and what we were talking about music, and I had just finished the recordings for live, and they like they like my music or whatnot, and they also like do a lot of visual art and video and stuff. So we just got to talking, and I had been taking like footage of like just life in my yard, things like frogs or like my cats or whatever, and it just seemed like it'd be a fitting like backdrop to my album, and like, but not that, maybe not straight how I filmed it. So like basically I would send them a bunch of video footage and stuff that I had taken, and then they kind of like mixed and matched it with my songs, and then like would send it back, and we'd have like a back and forth about like a discussion about it or what have you. And then like there's a lot of like effects and editing that's happening within the videos, and that's basically how it like it came about. And yeah, we just worked really well together. It was really easy, just kind of like intuitive and easy. And yeah, there really wasn't, it wasn't like, it was really easy to collaborate with them, which I found pretty much to be the case with like all the people that I've clicked with to like collaborate, it always seems to sort of be like here's some stuff, you do something with it, or they send me stuff, I do something with it, and it kind of just like fits and clicks and makes sense. And that's kind of how for me, that's how I know if I work well with someone. It's not hard, like it's not like that difficult. It's kind of like, oh wow, whatever they did was just like amazing or whatever, and I'm like, yeah. And then there's kind of like that back and forth, and I really enjoy that, like working with people that way. And
it's really awesome to hear that the ways that you're able to collaborate with the people around you is just like it clicks. And that's I would say that's pretty rare because there's so many different kinds of people out there in the world. So when you really mesh with somebody, it's really, really nice.
yeah, it's kind of amazing because I feel like with most people in Grimalkin, like, I mean, I haven't collaborated with everybody that's in Grimalkin, but like it seems like I've clicked most people who are in the collective too. Like, I just really I make connections with people, and it is rare on the other, in one hand, but on the other hand, I feel like, I don't know, like sometimes I think like I put a little like summons out into the world of what I was hoping for Grimalkin to be, and somehow it magically like came back like to me. Like it was kind of like a really cool thing, because it is rare, but I guess if you put like ideas out there that are kind of specific as to like what your values are or who you are, it does sort of attract that back, and it's a nice thing.
Yeah, could you actually elaborate a little bit more on the kinds of values that you try to portray using Grimalkin?
Um, yeah, I guess like, just putting people first, especially people who, who've been marginalized, I guess, like that's like a really important, considering other people's needs of, or what's maybe lacking in this world, and trying to create something that's like, create a space where maybe that's not the norm in our world. So like through Grimalkin, maybe people can find kind of like a place to, I don't know, get the things that they're not getting elsewhere. I don't know. I don't know, like we're actually like right in the process of like actually writing out our values too. We do plan to like put them on our website. So it's just so hard because there's just so many things, like I guess you could say, that are of importance to the work that we're doing. But I guess just like definitely centering marginalized people over anything else, and community building and support and mutual aid, like you said, like those are the biggest things. But of course, then there's like, obviously there's other things too that we could throw in there, but I don't know like how far I could really, I don't know, it's really hard for me to like get into it too much without like going down some rabbit hole. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I think part of like going down the rabbit hole is kind of the point of asking such a big question. Like, I don't know if there will ever be like an actual final answer to like what are all of your values. You know what I mean? I feel like that list would just go on forever because there's so many important things in the world. And so I think a core part of Grimalkin centering on being able to name those values and to discuss that and explore those things, that sets y'all apart from, I would say, any other, record label who, are trying to do good work as well, but may not be as upfront about those things. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, like trans and queer rights are at the like, trans rights especially are at the forefront of what, I mean, most of us are trans within Grimalkin. So not everyone, but most of us are. And yeah, you know, just trying to create, I guess like the way I see it is we're trying to create something different, do things differently than they've been done, instead of just going along with how, like, well, that's how labels have been doing it, and that's how, you know, whether it be like how we pay people or like whatever, instead of thinking in terms of like what's been done, just trying to question some of that and creating a new way to do things. And I guess we've really evolved like over time. So I know we're going to continue to evolve, but like, so, you know, we've kind of sort of figuring things out as we go. Some of it's trial and error, but just trying to do things differently and to show that there's a different way you can do things and still be successful. Like in terms of like being able to maintain, sustain, and survive, you know, without like exploiting artists, without exploiting musicians, because that's pretty much how the music industry runs, like pretty much like everything else, you know. And just I would say like, you know, as another big broad value, it'd be like trying to figure things out, you know, like we don't really have all the answers. So like all of our value, and we definitely have solid values, like we could obviously spell out, but some of it's also just trying to figure things out because it really hasn't been done before. Like, I don't feel like it has been done, at least not, I don't know, you know, at least not in the mainstream or even, I mean, there are definitely people within DIY, I think, that are doing somewhat similar things, but it would be really great if, you know, we could set an example and maybe like inspire other people to start doing things differently, especially when it comes to like supporting musicians and not profiting from them or exploiting them, you know. So that would be amazing. You know. So
The fact that y'all creating a value statement at all, I would say, like, that is pretty groundbreaking. There's other great labels doing things, but the ways that y'all are um, really innovating on how to do things and operate as a collective and as artists individually, that's really cool.
I think it's pretty cool too. I think everybody that's in Grimalkin's like amazing and brings a lot to what we're doing. And yeah, so hopefully we'll have, we were, like I said, we're like actually in the process of actually solidifying our like values in a tangible way that we do plan to put up on our website. We have like a mission page or whatnot. We have like a mission up there, but we want to kind of make it more concrete. And also, we're getting a lot more like submissions and people like hitting us up for, you know, doing releases and stuff too. And I think it'll also be very helpful to have that stuff more concretely written out so that people are more aware, like, you know, we're looking for people who share these same values. It's not just about making music or releasing music. And so I think that'll be helpful in that regard too, to make sure we're connecting with the right people, especially when you have a lot of people that you don't know, you know, because it started out just basically friends, you know, friends of friends. So now that you have more people that like we don't know at all, you know, like kind of wanting to engage with us, it's cool. That's really a cool thing. And I'm definitely like happy for that. And I'm like, really want us to branch out more like internationally too, so that we're not, I mean, we are somewhat international, but like grow that too. So that's not just mainly United States label or collective. And so I think that'll help us too with people if we have like something more concrete to like, you know, say, hey, this is what we're about, you know, whatever, to kind of bring more people like that to us or whatever.
That's really neat. I have a few more questions for you. So the next one I have is both about and not about music. So just in general, in a beautiful, perfect world, what do you want for the future?
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of like, it's a definitely like a pipe dream, I guess, scenario for me. I guess I'd like there to be a future where everybody has what they need so that they can do more than just survive, but also live, and have that not be anything that's going to oppress or hurt other people in the process. And like having more people really want to do better and be better and make like more conscious efforts towards like tangible ways that they can actually live their life or do things differently or learn or unlearn, you know, to be a better person. I feel like if more people were focused on that, that would be a start for a future that I would hope for. I guess that would be my answer for that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a future I want to be a part of. That's a present I want to be a part of. I mean, and I love Grimalkin for being a part of that present now and being an example of that. What are some ways that we can support you right now?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, we never profit off of artists, so we really need outside support. Like, so yeah, I was laid off. Like, I'm really trying to make this actually like a legit job and also pay other people to help with this work. And so the only way we're going to be able to ever do that is if people like join our Patreon or become a Bandcamp subscriber. And of course, I am like hoping to like apply for grants and things like that too eventually, which might help. But we really need people's support. So I'd say if you have the means or you like what we do and you can support us in that way, to please join our page, consider joining our Patreon or become a Bandcamp subscriber. Like, we really appreciate everyone who's done that. And then on top of that, like, not everybody has the money or the means. So like please like share our releases, share, like repost, retweet, tell your friends who do have means, you know, that like anything you can do like that, like, would be amazing. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing so much about yourself and your thought processes and all the amazing stuff that you have been a part of. Is there anything else you would like the world to know?
So I guess I would say that you probably see me posting about it because it's been on my mind a lot, but I've been like just from like learning up more and studying up more on like trauma informed services, because the last job I had, like, for me to keep a credential, you have to do like professional development, but I'm really interested in like trauma related services, and so that I feel like is something that's all really helpful for me personally, because I've experienced trauma in my life. And then for Grimalkin, I feel like it's really important because like anybody who's trans and queer or a person of color or Black obviously has experienced trauma in their life. And I think it's really important to like understand how trauma works, and also understanding in yourself how you are triggered by like things that have happened to you in the past. And I just recently learned about the trauma triangle, where you get kind of sucked into either a relationship or a situation where you're either playing the victim, the villain, or the rescuer. And I would just really encourage everybody to kind of like look into that, because I feel like if everybody kind of like understood trauma better and understood their own trauma better and their own triggers better, like we would have like a much better world in general. So like just learning that for myself made a few things really like clear, and how I've kind of like got sucked into that triangle over and over again in my life, but also recently, so just kind of trying to recognize that and do better. And so I would just say to anybody who's ever experienced any kind of trauma to like do some research on that. There's like webinars you can watch online on YouTube, stuff like that. And it's like really, it's really important if you're anybody who's trying to do organization work, if you're trying to do organizing work, work with other people, especially if you're trying to provide any kind of like services that are like helping other people in any kind of way. it's really important to like understand trauma and also understand how if you've experienced it, how it's affected you, so that you can't really be your best you for other people who might need your help if you are like getting in or triggered yourself. So yeah, I guess that's something I just wish all my friends and loved ones would kind of like look into. Yeah.
Everybody's been through conflict. I think lately I've been thinking about the fact that we have the ability to choose who we get in conflict with and to what extent. But yeah, it's not easy. So being reminded to, I guess, check ourselves, I think it's like important part of everybody being able to enjoy life, to be able to look at ourselves and be like, how do we respond to things? What are things that, cause a response from us? So that's really interesting. And I'm really grateful that you've been sharing the information that you've learned, and being someone who is so adamant about living out their values. So again, thank you so much for being one of the amazing hosts of Grimm Your Wednesdays, and also for running Grimalkin, for being an amazing musician with Spartan Jet-Plex, and all of the wonderful things that you do outside of those things too. So thank you so much. I'm gonna switch. Oh. So I'm going to go ahead and just remind everybody that this is Grimm Your Wednesdays. Anytime is a good time to donate to Virginia Anti-Violence Project at virginiavp.org. They do a lot of great work for survivors of any kind of violence in the LGBTQIA plus community across the state. And if there's something like that serves like cutie POC and or survivors near you, highly recommend looking for those places as well and supporting your local community. So once again, that was Nancy Grimm, I am Judy, and we have Zara from Gravedream up next. Hello, Zara, are you there?
Hi.
Hello. You're going to perform for us, correct?
Yes.
Please take it away.
Awesome. Okay. The song's called Walking, talking, crowd, aggressive flesh, nothing more and nothing less. Till I knew you get to tongue off that boot. Dressed to kill, same way I should. Never falter. Gotta snatch that bang, can't walk to feed my bag. You'll find no solace in your agitated waters. Real cage, of course I'm caged. Back to the white light, just walking, talking, crowded, aggressive flesh, nothing more and nothing less. This next song is a cover of Toxic.
I read about did you say wild to a 10-year-old with Down syndrome? How dare you? The bottom line is very dare you? How absolutely dare you, sir? How dare you? Infants that are being taken from their mothers. Infants that are being stolen from their mothers and
Baby, can't you see? God, you're dangerous. falling. Oh, there's no escape. I can't wait. I need a hit. Baby, give me a hit. Dangerous. I'm running. Too hard. With the twist of your lips So this next song is an upcoming thing. It's more of a work in progress. It is called Ready to Break.
Oh, fuck!
It's just not my day. This life's just not my type. Little nigga think fast. Life don't give two shits about if you cute. Money won't protect you from decay. I ain't got the spoons of fucks to give, but I suffer just the same. I'll blow that cartridge like it's 93 route. Ain't no error in the way that I walk out. What the fuck's it gonna take for you? tell the proletariat to strap up. Tell the proletariat to strap up. Bitch, I dare you. I'm turning snitch to a slugger. I got a trench with her. They get what they deserve. They're getting what they deserve. They're getting what they deserve. They're getting what they deserve. I got a trench with her. Next up is another bit of an oldie. This one is called Eclipse.
I think the first thing you gotta tell yourself, what I always tell myself, now at least, is that it is temporary. That it will go away. And this is not forever. What you're feeling right now, that empty, lonely sadness, that depression, that
Mama told me don't tell a lie, disobey to my conscience die. From too young age. Wings clipped on asphalt. Promise you it ain't my fault.
Promise you it ain't my fault.
We both know the truth, and I know that these feelings won't pass.
These feelings won't pass.
On my way up out the gutter, maybe I'll have the last life. You let me down, but I did it first. Can't wait till I feel that hurts. Can't wait till you feel my words. Probably shocking.
Mama told me don't tell a lie. Disobey to my conscious die. Winds clip from too young an age. Wish I knew of a different way. Wish I knew of a different way.
Don't tell
And the last song in my set is called Faded, Ruined, which it is also the title track of my upcoming project that I'm working on. So I hope you like it.
Okay. You guys just better have my money.
What is life but a fall? God can't be better for life. I'm better suited to the background, not the floor. I'm undecided until you catch me on the fucking floor. It's creeping as the tides rise, and I pretend I do not feel a thing. Settle the score. Less is all I have to work with anymore. In every red hand you can tap on the day's reckoning. Capitulate to be in this for a quarter second. Meander through the middle passage looking for a north star, but I ain't found shit. I just settled for my dwelling, not a friend. You cross my fingers out the shame of me to spend. Plainly scare you on the day which you speak in all the downward eyes of where it is been ages since I don't speak. Better suited to the background, not the floor. I'm not excited until you catch me on the fucking floor. Doubts creeping, tides rising, and I pretend I do not feel a thing. Settle the score. Less is all I have to work with anymore. In every red hand you can tap on the day's record. Capitulate to be in place for a quarter second and they shit.
And that is the end of my set. Thank you for being a part of it.
Yay! That was sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for performing.
Of
Hi,
course.
how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Feeling some caffeine, wanting more caffeine. Kind of want to run around, really, so I might do that afterwards. How's your day been? What have you
Understandable.
been up to?
It's been okay, honestly. Honestly, I've spent most of the day rehearsing, and also I had a job interview earlier. But other than that, just kind of trying to work on music as much as I can.
I love the cover of Toxic that you do.
Thank
I'm
you.
really glad that you performed it because it's really fun listening to it, or like I have been listening to it a lot on Bandcamp, but it's not the same when it's not coming out of your mouth. So what a treat. Were you performing like live shows before pandemic hit?
No, this is literally my first show.
Like ever?
Like ever.
Oh my gosh! That's so sweet. Oh, I'm so honored. That's so nice. Welcome to hell.
Thank you. I like it here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, that was really great. Killed it. Yeah, I would not have known that that's your first show at all. So, oh, that's really cool. Yeah, so that's really interesting. How did you come up with the way, or I guess that leads me to so many questions about how you've been producing music before and how you envision that for yourself.
Yeah, I kind of started producing back in like mid high school, and I just like downloaded Ableton and started chopping up songs I liked and trying to make something out of them and whatnot. And that has kind of led me to where I am now.
That's really interesting. I noticed that when I was listening through your Bandcamp, there's kind of like a smorgasbord of different influences that go into it, from like lo-fi bedroomy type influences to like noisy rap to like pop beats. Could you tell us a little bit about what kinds of influences go into your work?
Yeah. I kind of have an eclectic taste in music to some extent, and I kind of just make stuff that I like will listen to a song or an album and I'll hear an artist do a really cool thing and I'll be like, ooh, I should try that. And like it could be down to like the way someone did their drums or the way somebody mixed a synth or whatever, but I will like hear it and I'll try to do it, or I'll mess with something myself and try and make something different. But like honestly, a lot of my influences are like Nine Inch Nails and JPEG Mafia and Miles Davis. Like it's a very eclectic range of influences, and a very like varied pool that I like pull from, I guess. And I think that helps with, I don't know, making something different.
Yeah, for sure. I think something that I've noticed about music in like very contemporary music, I mean, is that there's no one straightforward genre for anything anymore. Everything is influences of influences on influences.
Mm-hmm.
So it's impossible to, I don't know, at this point, everything is experimental.
Yeah, I feel like genre has like ceased to matter in a lot of ways. I feel like everything is so interconnected and the pool of ideas is becoming like so, I don't know, it's all coalescing in a way that it's like a rap beat will have like some old dance music synth or whatever, and it'll like sound fine and it'll be there, and it's like nobody really did that before, but now it's there and it's fucking cool.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's really great to hear the different perspectives through your music. And I think that, like you said, there's so many different like areas of influence that I think within one album you can kind of go through like a spectrum of genres and it all fits together really well.
Yeah, I feel like you can do so much more. Like an album doesn't have to have one type of sound necessarily, or like have a consistent or uniform like set of instrumentation or anything, or like you can just do whatever. I feel like a lot of my music is just being like, I want to make this kind of beat, but I also want to make like a noise, like just grindcore type thing, but I also want to make like a jazz rap beat, and I can do both of those things, and like it doesn't. I feel like music and genre are a lot less mutually exclusive than people like to think they are.
Yeah, for sure. I also noticed from your Bandcamp, there's quite a few like singles alongside like shorter pieces. Um, but you are a recent member of the Grimalkin Collective, and I know that y'all are planning something. Could you spoil any secrets?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm working on an album. It'll be, I don't know, 10 tracks, something around there. And it is just kind of, it is something I've been working on for a very long time. My musical process as far as like making a body of work is very iterative. Like I'll just make a set of beats and then get rid of the ones I don't like and then make some new ones, and that kind of just keeps on going until I end up with something I'm happy with. But I feel like that process is coming to a close, and I'm like really excited to finish it up and like be able to get it out.
For sure. I'm really excited to hear it. Um, Grimm actually brought up the project name really fitting your music too, and I think it totally does. Could you tell us a little bit about where that came from?
Yeah, honestly, it was Gravedream was like an idea I came up with when I was like 15 or 16. I was making music. I don't remember if I picked out my artist name before or after I started producing, but I was just like, I want to like put these beats out on SoundCloud or whatever that I'm making, so I need like a good name. And I like just could not think of any names, and being a very edgy 16-year-old was like sad and happy thing, grave and dream. And it was like, you know, I feel like it is kind of fitting. It kind of unifies a lot of what I like to do, which is to pull from like different extremes, like whether it be like something very dark or noisy or something very like pretty and nice or something very like groovy and dancey. I feel like being able to do all of those things in one is like kind of great.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And being on the receiving end of that, it's a nice treat.
Thank you.
Have you been making music for a while, or do you, is this like, I don't know, could you tell us a little bit about your experiences in art and creativity?
Yeah, I mean, I'm relatively new to making music, I suppose. Other than like music class in middle school or whatever, I had a guitar for a while that I never really learned how to play. And I didn't really start like making music till I was like 16, and I was like watching videos of people producing on YouTube and was like just listening to beats and wondering how to make them. And so I just like downloaded a copy of Ableton and started trying stuff. And that's kind of just what I've been doing for the past 3-4 years, is just making a lot of beats and listening to a lot of music. I feel like I always just like would hear bits and songs that I liked and would be like, I want to take that and make something out of it, and I never could. And then when I started producing, it was like, I can do that.
So what inspired you to put things together and like come out, I guess, with an album?
I feel like it's something I've been meaning to do for a long time. I used to put out a lot of like beat tapes on SoundCloud back in the day. Um, but I just like the idea of being able to put out a long form kind of statement. I feel like my beats are very indicative of where I'm at in my life a lot of the time. I can like listen to my beats, like an old beat, and remember like where I was when I made it, like just in headspace wise, stuff like that. So I feel like being able to complete a full body of work is being able to make some sort of representation of myself. That's just what it feels like to me, you know, artist talk. But
So it's really exciting to hear that you get to do that with Grimalkin and a bunch of other supportive people who are really trying to support you out there. Yeah, what have your experiences with like the music industry and like music scenes have been before?
um I
And you're
mean,
based in Chicago, right?
yeah, I'm based in
Yeah.
Chicago. I tend to be pretty reclusive, but I have um Chicago has a really good underground like hip hop scene and like just an underground experimental scene right now. And so like I've met a lot of really cool people who honestly inspire me more than any other artist that I listen to like make cool shit, because I just hear my friends making really cool shit and I'm like, I want to be able to do that. And it's crazy seeing so many of my friends and like people in my spheres like blow up recently to some extent, and it's like a very cool thing to see. So I'm a proponent, even though I'm like a bit of a recluse and don't interact with people as much, I'm a big proponent of scenes and like the way they can, it does function in a way similar to like mutual aid and just like being able to help out when somebody needs mixing and mastering in the way Grimalkin does and stuff like that. And like, I feel like scenes are a good way to help everybody move forward artistically and musically and career-wise if they want to, you know.
It sounds like you have a pretty clear trajectory of kind of the things that you want to do, or at least like the next step is laid out for you, and that's really exciting. That being said, in an ideal world, even outside of music, or I guess including or without, doesn't matter. What do you want to see, or what do you want for the future?
Well, an ideal world, kind of musically and non-musically, would be a world in which artists could just live off their art without having to get label deals and all that. And I think part of that just comes with like systemic change and like allowing people to have resources to live. I think a thing that I want in the future is just a better world than we're living in now. Yeah, I think that, sorry, lost my train of thought.
No, that's okay. I mean, it's a big question. I think it's like, yeah, we all want a better world, and what that actually looks like it's hard to describe.
It is, yeah. I just like want a world in which everybody can pursue what they want without feeling a need to go, toil away for their wages to be stolen by some rich dude. Like, I don't want to live in that kind of world anymore, I don't think. But otherwise, I don't know, in a perfect world, I'd be comfortably living out in the middle of nowhere, making beats and talking to no one but my animals.
What animals are you talking about?
All of them. I want like a whole farm's worth of livestock, and that's my goal. That in a perfect world, I would have a nice little farm.
You said all of them, and my mind went to like Noah's Ark type shit.
I would like that too. I just know it's not as realistic. I'm trying to stay in focus. But in an ideal world, I would have every single animal in my backyard.
I mean, this is an ideal world. It doesn't have to be rooted in this reality, honestly.
True.
So making beats, talking to no one, chilling on, I don't know, I guess this like massive ship with a really great sound system and every animal you could think of.
Yeah.
What do you do with the bugs?
The bugs?
Yeah.
They just kind of hang out. I feel like, I don't know. We'll talk it out.
Okay. We'll revisit this.
The logistics of Noah's Ark.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there are dreams and there are plans.
I know what you mean.
Is there any ways that we can support you directly right now?
If you like my music, you can buy it on Bandcamp. Other than that, you can follow me on social media at GRVDRM on both Insta and Twitter. And just keep an eye out for when I put stuff out. I feel like my music takes a very long time to make, so it may not be like an immediate thing, but when it does come out, if you like my music, listen to it, share it if you like it. That's all I can really ask.
Sweet. I just put your Instagram and Twitter handles in the chat room, and also your Bandcamp link is there as well if anyone would like to check it out. My last question for you is very open-ended. My second to last question for you actually is more about Chicago and your friends who make music.
Okay. Yeah, there are a lot of really cool people in Chicago who I've made friends with through music. I guess time for shout outs. Shout out Miles Veltenhill, shout out Sean Mirage, shout out Lower Lip Drip, shout out Asbestos Let Asbestos. I'm definitely forgetting people, and I hope nobody sees this and gets mad at me. But everybody who I'm friends with in Chicago who's making music is just very forward thinking and trying to progress and make the best stuff that they can. And I think that's really cool. And we all have that kind of goal in mind. And it's kind of a unifying thing. And I think it's really awesome to like find a group of people like that.
Really sweet. Is there anything else you would like the world to know?
That's a big question.
It is, but I also warned you. I told you it was coming.
True. There was one thing I'd want, or what would I want the world to know? That a better future is possible. We're in a really weird place right now, but...
What does that mean? A better future? What?
We direct action and trying to get actual change instead of little performative change to the actual issues that are plaguing us, and these little like run around, beating around the bush solutions. And like that, the change we want isn't going to happen unless we do something about it. And so we can have better, we just have to work towards it, I suppose.
For sure. I think kind of thinking back on the conversation with Grimm earlier about the fact that these questions don't have like finite set answers, but rather like the continually asking of them is like a big part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there is no set solution. We just have to try and fix the problems that we can see and are aware of. And when we become aware of more, we can work towards fixing that. It's kind of all just situational. We don't know what the future holds or what the world is going to do next. So
yeah, I'd like to add to that too. It's like, yeah, we don't know what's going to happen next, you know, but we can know where we are now. Like, you know, who you are and who's around you, like right now in your life. Yeah, I really appreciate that. I'm just gonna go ahead and close out by saying thank you, Sarah, for speaking with us and for sharing your first show with us. That's like really special and it really means a lot. I think everybody here is just like really excited for you. So thank you. You did wonderful. I wish we could like have like the full audience doing the clap and like, woo, you know, but eventually. I hope you can feel it from home. Yeah, eventually. Yeah, it's like things are gonna open up again. You're gonna go on like a big ass tour, travel the country. It's gonna be great. There's a lot of exciting things coming your way. And also for Nancy Grimm, you as well. Thank you so much for all the work that you do and for sharing about the processes and your life and your values that go behind all the wonderful things that I also get to enjoy being on this show with y'all. So thank you both again. Thank you to everybody who's here, who's tuning in, who's watching this later, who is donating to Virginia Anti-Violence Project, virginiaavp.org, or any other organization near you that is meaningful to you that helps QTPOC survivors in particular. That would be really wonderful and means a lot to us. So I'm gonna go ahead and say thank you, everybody. Have a good night. This has been Grimm Your Wednesdays. Bye.
Bye.